AITA for making my sister leave my house after her joke about my son's mom leaving again. I am not op. Original post by U0 out of home in our Amethyst hole. Trigger warnings. PPD. PTSD. Less than. An NBSP. AITA for making my sister leave my house after her joke about my son's mom leaving again. The 3rd of August 2021. My son Jack is going to be 2 soon. His mom Annie has a complicated history in how this all happened. Her husband passed away, and 3 months after that, we slept together. We were barely friends at the time, so I didn't know until after our first night together that she'd recently become a widow. But she told me she was really lonely and just enjoyed that physical connection. So for about 8 months that's how it was. Didn't see each other too often. Then we found out she was pregnant. She wanted to go through with the pregnancy, and I fully supported her if that was what she wanted. The thing was, she still had a lot of grief, and when my son was born it was hard for her to connect with him. She said she felt guilty having a baby with another man after losing her husband. By the time Jack was 4 months, she hadn't gotten any better, and her mental health completely deteriorated. I took over with him full-time after this, since she wasn't in the best place to be a mother. Annie still visited a few days out of the week for a short period, but I was doing most the childcare while she went to therapy. Then she was in the hospital for a while. She couldn't come over much during COVID except for video chats, so she's essentially become a stranger to him. 3 months ago she started coming around more after not seeing him for a while. She's on antidepressants, and therapies helped her a lot. Now she's more set on being a mom, and we're slowly reintroducing him to her. My sister hasn't been happy about this. I know she's upset on my behalf, as I struggled a bit as a single parent. She knows the situation that happened with her, but still thinks she shouldn't be allowed back into Jack's life after abandoning him. And yeah, I get her feelings, but since Annie's in a better place mentally, then I want to give a shot at Jack having a mom around. I still have my guard up obviously, and we're taking it one day at a time, but I see how different she is with him now. My sister hasn't stopped making comments no matter how many times I've told her to knock it off. She dropped by unannounced when Annie was here and was very openly hostile right in front of Jack. Annie offered to leave, and then my sister jokes, "Make sure you come back this time." I told her to leave and not come back until she can act right with the mother of my child. My sister is offended that I'm taking her side by kicking her out of my house, since she's only angry on my behalf, and it was a joke she made. That's why she thinks I'm an asshole. For me, I was thinking I'd rather get her out ASAP before saying something else in front of my son. Was I being an asshole? Verdict. NTA. An NBSP. Update. AITA for making my sister leave my house after her joke about my son's mom leaving again. The 26th of October 2021. Appreciate all the words and advice on my last post. There has been some new changes regarding the situation that happened before with my sister and Annie, so decided to leave a little update. Many of you were right about my sister's negativity possibly affecting the relationship between Annie and Jack. It's also reassuring to know that we were making the right call here. The last thing I wanted was to make Annie feel bad for things that were out of her control. At first, when I talked to my sister, we got nowhere. I even brought up what some of you said here. Would she feel the same if Annie had been in the hospital getting treatment for cancer or some other physical disease, illness? My sister claimed that's not the same thing, and we had to have a deeper conversation on why it is exactly the same thing. Annie was not in the right place mentally to be a fit parent and decided to get help. There was no need for her hostility towards Annie now that she's gotten the treatment she needs, and we're taking steps to bring her back into Jack's life. My sister and I still didn't see eye to eye, so that's when I made the decision that she wouldn't be allowed around us for a while and stuck with the same condition I made in my original post. We didn't talk for almost 2 months, then I guess my sister finally realized I wasn't gonna budge, so she agreed she'd be more nicer to Annie and won't talk badly about her in front of Jack. Thought this meant things would turn around, but unfortunately it didn't end that way. Even after giving her a second chance, she still couldn't hold back from sending a message to Annie, letting her know she's only doing this for me but she will never be okay with her. Called her a terrible mother among other things. She was counting on Annie not to show me this since it would cost her son his aunt, like it said in her message. Oh yeah, I was pissed. Another talk with her later, I decided she's not having any contact with us at all. As much as it pains me, I can't have that kind of negativity around my son or his mother. Their relationship has been rebuilding nicely, and this is a crucial time for all of us. We don't need the extra drama. On a positive note, Jack has really warmed up to his mom, and it's a beautiful sight to see. I'm happy Annie is getting somewhere with him, and they seem to be getting closer every day. So not all bad news, right? Thanks again Reddit for the help. You guys really help ease my mind with this situation. Least don't feel like an asshole anymore for making the right choice. An NBSP. I'm in love with the mother of my child, the 27th of December 2021. We didn't start our relationship in the best way. She was looking for something physical, to forget about losing her husband. And it worked out great. She got pregnant 8 months after we started seeing each other, and then we agreed to work together as co-parents. PPD hit her very hard a few months after our son was born. On top of all the grief she still hadn't fully processed. And she had to be away for a while to get the help she needed. Especially when the lockdown happened. And for the past 8 months she's been the best mom to our 2-year-old boy. He loves her so much, and I'm happy with the progress they've made and to see her in such a better headspace. All the effort she put in to get healthy mentally so she can be a mom for our son. Took me a few months to realize I'm in love with her. I always wanted to be supportive through her struggles and be there as a friend, co-parent. She told me before that she's in love with me too. But for me it doesn't feel like the right time yet. Or IDK, maybe I'm still scared to create a new change between us. She's been a wonderful full-time parent. The whole reason we wanted to wait on a relationship was so all our energy could be focused on her. Rebuilding a relationship with our son. Which has been going great. A few times. Like Christmas Eve. We've had a few moments where we almost kissed, and we wanted to keep holding back to wait a little longer. It's starting to feel like torture. I love her very much, and I'm eager for the day I can fully express that. An NBSP update. I'm in love with the mother of my child, the 8th of February 2022. The history I have with my son's mother is a bit of a complicated one. Have written posts on it, so there's more details. After her having to be away to get treated for PPD and PTSD, she's been back in our toddler's life for close to 10 months. He absolutely adores his mom. We were never an official couple at any point during this, but there were growing feelings for a long time. Last time I posted here was met with some positive feedback and decided to stop being afraid of taking things to the next step. Annie, my son's mom, admitted almost a year ago that she was in love with me. And for me it didn't hit until months ago that I'm very much in love with her. With everything that happened, we still wanted to take things slow for our son's sake. I still decided to ask her out on a coffee date. And it was a very sweet time. Then in the car heading back to my place we kissed. What's crazy is we've kissed plenty of time before when we were only casually sleeping with each other, but this one felt like our first genuine kiss. She told me how much she loved me a few times. Made my heart pound like crazy. Cold sweat smile. It's been over a month since then, and we've had several regular dates whenever we can leave our son with a sitter. It's still scary and new for us, so we just try to go at our own pace. She comes over every day to be with our son while I work until late evening so the three of us can have dinner together. The relationship she's building with my son always warms my heart. She struggled so much to try to be his mom, and to finally see them at a place where they are really bonding makes me very happy. And love her even more, tbh. An NBSP. Reminder, I am not the original poster. Good on Oop for his compassion and support. That's the trouble with so-called hidden illnesses. So many people disregard sickness that isn't tangible and visible, when mental health is absolutely something to take seriously. His sister basically kicked that poor woman down when she was clawing and fighting her way back to becoming well. This guy is a champion dad. His only concern from the get-go has been to provide and protect. The fact he was able to be this firm to his sister for the sake of his child and child's mother speaks volumes for the kind of man he is. If only more people defended their and children like this. Good for the Oop. The thing that the sister misses is that Annie is Jack's mother. I remember hearing a guy at a party talking with a group calling his ex-wife all sorts of abusive terms, expecting the people he was with to laugh. One of them, also divorced, said quietly, "I'd cut my tongue out before I said something like that about my son's mother. I've got more respect for my kids than that," and turned and walked away. That seemed like such a great take. Sounds like the sister just wanted an excuse to be vile. If she truly cared, she'd never be hostile and suggest the mom would leave again anywhere near the kid. This went from incredibly infuriating to unfathomably wholesome. These ones are nice. Smile. I remember reading this one. Didn't know he made 2 more posts after the first update. All I can say is my heart is full and warm. Oop did the right thing by being understanding of Annie's situation. So many people overlook PPD and still blame the mother for not being present. Annie had someone in her corner this whole time. It's good to see they're working on becoming a couple. I can't imagine how horrible it must have been for Annie to have been othered from her connection with her son due to her own mental health issues. Then have her son's aunt basically reinforce the thoughts she had been working in therapy to get over. She didn't abandon him. She was trying to focus on herself so she could step back into his life. Then got admitted to a hospital. And then a pandemic happened which prevented her from coming back sooner. I'm so happy not only for Oop for discovering his true love for Annie, but for Annie herself working through her struggles and coming out on top. She's an amazing woman who deserves a great future with her family. Properly treating your PPD is the best thing you can do for a child. The sister's stance here is bizarre. The mom didn't abandon her child. She was as consistent of a parent as she could be while recognizing that she needed help and getting it. There are bad mothers out there that just walk away from their kids for selfish reasons like affairs or because they refuse to get help. This mother wasn't that at all. She worked hard to overcome grief and PPD with the support and patience of an incredible co-parent. Aunt deserves what she got. I hope Oop, mom and kid are happy and healthy. As someone who went through PPD, this makes me so happy that she had the support from the father. It's already hard being a mom. Throw PPD on top with no support. It gets scary fast. That dad is a saint of a man, and I hope the relationship works out. Terrible sister, heartwarming direction for Oop and Annie's life. I hope for them. You know, it's so nice to both have a very sweet ending and an Oop who understands that mental illness is illness. Good grief. Sister of the century over there, S. Oh, my brother who I love so much is doing an incredible job raising his son under really difficult circumstances, and rather than support him in a perfectly cautious and optimistic endeavor to reunite his son with son's mother, I think I'll use the situation as an opportunity to make it all about myself, while actively making life exponentially more difficult for my brother than is necessary. BC yeah. Oop definitely needed less support and more stress. Good riddance Miss Cuckoo Banana's sister. And full-on heart melties for Oop, baby mama, and their child. Wish them all the best. Sans Agro McAngry Pants sister. Oop is awesome. So many people don't understand how mental illness can be just as hard for people as physical illnesses. OMG. I need the update that they're getting married and Jack will be the ring bearer and the evil sister tries to crash the wedding but is held back by a phalanx of bridal party members who banish her to the depths of the beyond, and Annie and Jack live happily ever after. I can't imagine adding PPD, PPA, PPP to grief and expecting someone to be able to deal with a situationship and a newborn and come out of it okay. OP's sister has to be among the least compassionate people on earth. OP must have won the genetic lottery in that family. I hope they're all happy together now. It really pisses me off when people like OOP's sister treat mental health and mental illness as if it's nothing. Poor mental health and or mental illnesses can be just as debilitating to an individual as a life threatening physical disease or disability if not taken care of. The ignorance is so frustrating. I'm rooting for them. All of them. My brother's first wife walked out on him and their toddler son while having a mental breakdown. She had to be hospitalized and never moved back in. There was a lot of, how could she? Quote, but honestly, she knew she wasn't capable of being a good mom at the time. So she left him with my brother, who was very hands-on and responsible. My parents and I help with childcare. It's sad that the sister in this story had no compassion in her heart. Oop did the right thing by going no contact. So sweet that this turned into a love story.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.